Right ahead on 12 News, life at work. Are you engaged or disengaged? What a new study shows, and the place in Golden Valley where most workers are happy. Then, change on campus, the new policy now in effect at Hennepin Tech. But first, a big change in the 4 decades-long history of music in Plymouth. 12 News starts right now. For the first time in its 41-year history, music in Plymouth will celebrate Independence Day without the Minnesota Orchestra.
A labor dispute forced organizers to look elsewhere, and they found the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra. The Metropolitan Orchestra is a group that plays together for fun and for the love of the music. John Lewis is the general manager and a percussionist.
No one in this group gets paid to play, and in fact, almost everyone is a donor to the organization. So they not only donate their talent and their time and their effort, they also donate money to us.
The Metropolitan Orchestra started with a group of St. Olaf College graduates who just wanted to continue playing difficult music well.
It was started out as a chamber orchestra, and then it grew and grew, and it brought in more and more outsiders, more and more other musicians.
They play 6 concerts a year and normally take summers off, but not this year when the Plymouth Civic League needed a replacement for music in Plymouth.
It's a terrific opportunity for us. It's a terrific event. It's very well known. And of course, having 12, 13, 14, 15,000 people who have never seen us before is a tremendous opportunity for us to get our music out, and people can hear how good we are.
It's really the highest caliber of community musicians in the Twin Cities.
Some of these musicians are professionals, but most have other day jobs.
They are amateurs in the absolute real sense of that word. They play in this orchestra because they love music. They love to play.
And they hope it shows, even if you're seated in the back row of the Hildy Center on Tuesday night.
I think the joy that we have in playing together really comes across. And I think even from a distance, even if you're sitting out in the audience a ways away, I think people will still be able to see that and hear that and feel that.
It's that kind of trumpet solo that should get you on your feet.
It's just going to be great. People are going to love it.
If you go, you should look for the trumpet solo by Chuck Lazarus, who happens to be a local Plymouth resident. And shuttle service from West Lutheran High School and from Plymouth Creek Elementary should help with the parking crunch. The shuttles start running at 4:30 Tuesday.
Police continue to investigate a fatal shooting in New Hope. Kent Walker was found shot to death in his car Thursday in the 7600 block of Bass Lake Road. The medical examiner says the 59-year-old from Fridley had been shot multiple times. Police are still piecing together information and couldn't discuss a motive. The last homicide in New Hope was a domestic incident that police say occurred about 2 years ago.
The impact of June's severe weather and all the rain we got is still being felt. In New Hope, a gas pipeline replacement project will take longer than expected because of flooding at the intersection of 42nd and Winnetka. It means the intersection that's been closed since June 10th will stay closed for 2 additional weeks. City officials hope to open the intersection to 1 lane of traffic in each direction by July 22nd. A small electrical fire has caused the Robbinsdale School District to close its office in New Hope and move to a temporary location. The fire department says there was a power surge in an electrical box that started a small fire, knocking out power to the building. The district will work out of Armstrong High School for the rest of the week. And anyone needing to reach the district office, there is a new temporary phone number to call, and that's 504-8811.
The Twin Cities Pride Festival took place over the weekend in Minneapolis.
It was a time of celebration for gay rights advocates, particularly in light of recent legal victories. 12 News reporter Carissa Wyant caught up with one crystal couple expected to be a part of the festivities.
At Sunday's Twin Cities Pride Parade in Minneapolis, there were walkers, bikers, acrobats, and musicians. Former Minnesota Viking Chris Kluwe, an outspoken advocate for gay rights, was the Grand Marshal. Everyone from pets to politicians took part.
Happy Pride! It's crazy.
The Russell Fate family of Crystal was also there, with lots to celebrate.
My partner and I got engaged in September and said we want to do this as legal as possible, whatever that means. And since then, it's legal in Minnesota, it's legal federally now.
Well, Twin Cities Pride has been going on for 41 years. Some say this year's celebration is particularly celebratory, given the legalization of same-sex marriage in Minnesota.
This year, it's just that much more. It's just, you know, we've made it, and here we are, and to celebrate it, and everything is awesome.
Leanne Russell says that recent state and federal legislation legalizing same-sex marriage will have an impact on her family.
With my partner and I getting married and then getting the kids kind of adopted under each other's names, it'll just go smoother. And I mean, all the rights that we'll have and for the kids and for everything, it's just, we'll feel more like a family in the eyes of everybody.
Leanne says that this year's Pride Festival was everything her family hoped it would be.
Exciting and celebratory and fun and family and pride and everything it's supposed to be.
In Minneapolis, Carissa Wyant, 12 News.
Organizers say the festival draws more than 300,000 people every year, making it the biggest free-of-charge Pride festival in the nation.
Same-sex marriage becomes legal in Minnesota on August 1st, but there are several new laws taking effect today. They include the creation of a fourth tax tier. It requires the top 2% of wage earners to pay 2 percentage points more on their income taxes. There's also a new online sales tax requiring retailers like Amazon and eBay to collect state sales tax on purchases. And Minnesota now has the nation's 6th highest tax on cigarettes. That's because the cigarette tax goes up today by $1.60 a pack. Besides paying more, smokers at Hennepin Technical College will no longer be able to light up on campus.
But today, the college's tobacco-free policy went into effect. Reporter Sonia Goins has more.
Smoke shacks were removed and tobacco-free campus signs were put up.
Here is one of our first signs that indicates we're a tobacco-free campus at Hennepin Tech.
Hennepin Technical College officials say they aren't asking students and staff to kick the habit. People just can't light up on campus.
This tobacco-free policy will ensure that our students come to a cleaner campus.
They also can't puff on e-cigarettes or use tobacco.
I get not being able to smoke in buildings and stuff like that. If you want that, that's fine, but you're outside.
From now on, if you want to light up on campus, you're going to have to do it inside your car with the windows rolled up.
Kind of crazy because there's so many places that are doing this now that are following in suit that are we really going to be able to smoke anywhere except for maybe our own homes or something someday?
The college was given a $7,000 state grant to help the campus clear the air of tobacco smoke.
I'm a student ambassador here on campus.
Rebecca Larson designed the tobacco-free signs you see on the walls and tables. She's hoping people will be encouraged to quit smoking.
With the school going tobacco-free and with the state taxes going up, I'm really hoping that it'll deter people to say, hey, I need to quit smoking.
But that might be easier said than done.
I don't know if it'll actually stop people. I think people are just going to complain about it.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Those smoke shacks are being replaced with bike racks. They will be put up in the next couple of weeks, and materials from the smoking huts will be used as greenhouses in the college garden. Well, how much do you love your job? Well, next in Business Matters, the place in Golden Valley where workers are happier than most.
And later in sports, a big performance by a Maple Grove receiver in the Minnesota High School All-Star football game.
But first, an AccuWeather forecast where there's not much to complain about. Here's a question for you. How is your job satisfaction these days?
According to a recent Gallup study, most people aren't exactly in love with their jobs. In fact, only 25% of Minnesotans surveyed said they feel engaged in their jobs. That's lower than the national results, which found 30% of workers feel connected and engaged at work. So what does it take to create an engaged workforce? A Golden Valley company may have the answer. In this week's Business Matters, a look at why employees at Allianz Life Insurance give their company top marks. Laura Juergens can say something not everyone can. She loves her job.
It doesn't matter who you are, what your management status is. You feel like you're valued, and I think that's the most important.
One of 1,700 employees at Allianz Life Insurance, Laura and her coworkers recently ranked their employer as a top workplace in surveys by the Star Tribune and Fortune magazine. For Laura, it comes down to communication and trust.
I think everybody feels like there's no secrets. We know the good and the bad and the ugly, but they make sure everybody's aware and engaged somehow, and I think that's really important.
As an employer, we strive for people to come in this door with a smile on their face and say, I love working here.
One way to do that is with perks. A company-wide wellness program offers benefits like an on-site fitness center, and healthy meal options are available at a reduced price in the company's cafe.
How fun is this?
There's also an on-site daycare and flexible work options to promote employee well-being. But perks and benefits aren't enough to create job satisfaction, according to Doug Claffey of Workplace Dynamics.
If you can really get bought in and feel a sense of connection to that company, for why it's meaningful, why it exists, where it's headed, then that's going to be the difference between having a job and loving your job.
At Allianz, engaging employees is the key to company success.
As employers, we need to really understand that employee engagement has such a huge impact on the bottom line.
For employees like Laura Juergens, that all comes down to a positive feeling when she comes to work.
I think there's something for everyone, and everybody feels good about it.
The Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal also recently ranked Allianz as one of the Twin Cities' healthiest employers. Coming up, a Cooper basketball star gets his shot at the NBA.
Plus, the longtime head coach of Wayzata's boys basketball program resigns. John Jacobson has those stories and more next. John Jacobson with sports now, and several local players in the football all-star game over the weekend. I guess their high school careers are finally finished, and now on to college probably for these guys.
And I think they had a fun day, whether you're on the winning side or the losing side. It's great to play in an all-star game, and they had a nice day to play, too, which doesn't hurt. It was the last go-around for high school football players from the class of 2013. Many of the best capped their prep careers Saturday at the annual all-star football game. Hopkins quarterback J.T. Den Hartog, one of the local players in this game. He was on the South roster. It's the North that scores first, and Maple Grove wide receiver Jake Winnetka is the one getting the points, coming down with a catch in the end zone for a 7-0 North All-Star lead in the first quarter. Number 44 in white is Andrew Ziegler of Champlin Park. He gets the sack for the North on their second drive of the game. Cooper running back Ashante Payne got a handful of carries in the game. This is his best one, bouncing it outside for 16 yards. But after a good start, the North offense stalls, and the South comes back. Eric Berth of Winona, the 1-yard touchdown run, puts the South ahead 10-7 at the half. Third quarter, and Den Hartog on the quarterback keeper scores easily on a 2-yard run to give the South a 10-point lead, 17-7. Fourth quarter, Den Hartog flips the ball to Riley Donovan of Casson Manorville on the end around. Donovan gets to the end zone. The South is in command. They're up 24-7. The North gets one back late on Winnetke's second touchdown catch of the day. The South All-Stars win at 24-14. After the game, we talked to Winnetka, who was named the team's offensive MVP.
I mean, it was just fun to be out here with all the best players in the state and be able to compete, play football again. So it's also like a step up. You play with your high school team, a bunch of good players, then you come here with all the best players from their high school teams.
A former Gophers basketball player will get a chance to showcase his game this summer for an NBA team. Cooper High School and Gophers guard Rodney Williams Jr. signed a free agent contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Williams averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds per game during his senior year at Minnesota. He'll play on the 76ers Summer League team in Orlando, July 7th through the 12th. Williams' college teammate Trevor Mbakwe will also play for the Sixers in the Orlando League that starts this Sunday. Training camp for Philadelphia begins in late September. A longtime high school boys basketball coach in the area is stepping down, and his replacement is pretty familiar with the program. Phil Ward has resigned after 17 seasons as Wayzata's head coach. Ward posted a record of 251 and 166 with the Trojans. The interim coach who will replace Ward is former Trojans player and assistant coach Nick Tibasar. We talked with both guys about the change.
the one thing you always want to be able to do is have energy and have fun doing the job. And I think for the first time I was questioning my own energy, and so I thought it was important for me to step down when a couple of things were in place. One was I was still happy about the job. I love coaching at Wayzata. It was a fabulous experience. I like the kids. Nobody wants to walk away bitter, and I didn't have to do that. I got to walk away with great feelings.
You know, for me, it's really a dream job type scenario. I grew up here. I played for Coach Ward, and being able to take over the program from him is really, it's really a great honor, very humbling and very exciting, of course.
Seen here wearing number 54 in his playing days at Wayzata, Tibesar spent 6 years as a Trojans assistant before becoming Andover's head coach the past 2 seasons. That extra experience should help.
You know, you lose the relationship with the players here at Wayzata by doing so, but I guess I was lucky that I was still teaching in the building, so I was able to keep some of that relationship aspect alive. I think the biggest reason why it was good for me is I became a better coach. You know, I was forced to have to do all the things that a head coach does for those 2 years, and I learned a tremendous amount.
When I met Nick as a young adult playing for me, and he kind of indicated that maybe he wanted to become a teacher and a coach, there was never any doubt that he would be a successful head coach at that point. It was just a matter of time and going through the steps, but I knew he was a can't-miss prospect.
Tibesar led Andover to the state tournament last season. He will be the Trojans' interim coach for the upcoming season. The job will be reopened at the conclusion of next year. And of course, he would be a candidate, you would think, for the permanent job the year after that. But certainly brings a lot to the table, and then being a Wayzata grad, I think, helps too.
And you have all that old footage,
we
so
do.
you're not going to let
it.
them get by without showing that
right.
footage. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, what to expect at Plymouth's Big Night of Music.
We'll let you listen in coming up next.
We leave you with a little more music. Thanks for joining us.
As we say goodbye, here's a little more from the Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra as they get ready for music in Plymouth. We'll see you again tomorrow.